I'm sorry, it is out of order. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's what I feel about that. Hello everybody, welcome to another video, and we have finally disembarked from the Ovation of the Seas after a 9-night cruise. It was pretty special, do you not think?
It was very nice.
If you haven't already seen our previous videos, you can check them out now. We did a cabin review of the J4, and also we talked about the food. So we're not going to cover that in this video, but we want to talk about absolutely everything else that the Ovation of the Seas has to offer. And since we very recently got off the Wonder of the Seas only 6 months ago, at the time of recording, we thought we'd do a bit of a comparison between the Quantum and Oasis class ships and what you can expect when making your decision as to which vessel you want to sail on if you're going Royal Caribbean, I guess. So, Glenn, where do we start?
Well, how about with the ship, Ant?
How about with the ship?
So the Ovation is one of the Quantum class ships, and if you've never been in a Quantum class, how would you describe that class of ship?
It's a large ship, but it's not the largest ship. Oasis class has so many options, and I think they vary in quality. But for Quantum class, it feels like you get the best of Royal Caribbean on a ship that's big enough, but not too big, but not too small either. That, you know, you feel like you're bumping into the same person every 5 minutes, but at the same time, you're not going to get lost. Not like on an Oasis class ship where it's easy to get lost, I think.
I agree. It's average size.
Whatever average means.
Let me tell you what, from my personal experience, what I thought were big differences between those two particular ships, Ovation and Wonder. I honestly thought, and this sounds like a really kind of silly thing to pick up on, but the layout of the Ovation is way more logical than on the Wonder. And
Yes.
some of the venues that the two ships share, I think probably feel and look better on the Ovation. For example, where the Bionic Bar is on the Ovation is a far easier to access, isn't it? It seems like whenever you're walking from one part of the ship to the next, the chances are you could possibly route via the Bionic Bar, whereas on the Wonder you can't. Izumi is another one. Izumi on the Ovation, it's in a public thoroughfare, so it's really easy. You walk past and you think, oh, really must eat in there. On the Wonder, it's
in the
stuffed
basement.
down on one of the lower decks in a dark corner. It's really odd, you know? Casino, another one. I absolutely love the Casino on the Ovation. It's 10 times better than the Wonder. It might be a bit smaller, but the bar in the Casino is really buzzing.
It's central, but the one on Wonder is quite small, I thought. So it felt like, well, the bit, you know, when you were in that corner that time it always felt like it was so crowded, that bar.
Okay. It's bigger than the Ovation, trust me.
I don't know, I preferred the bar on Ovation.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. You just said the Casino you thought was smaller. It's not. The Casino is bigger.
No, I thought the bar area.
The bar, okay, I can't remember. But honestly, the Casino is way, way better.
If you've been following all of these vlogs and all of these reviews over our time away in Vegas and on the Ovation, Hawaii, etc., and we've got Canada coming up. In Vegas, our money just went like that. Like we were gambling. You put money into the slot machine and it's gone. Like you don't win enough for you to remain interested. And when you put $20 in, it's gone in 10 minutes. You're kind of like, well, what was the point in that?
Yeah,
but
that's true.
On the Ovation, and the funny thing is, people always say when you're gambling on a cruise ship, then the odds are so much worse. But the house does always win, don't get me wrong, but I can tell you now, in the second day, I was up over $250, and that was enough to keep me gambling for the rest of the cruise. Now, I never got anything close to that in Las Vegas, and for me, I loved it, and I loved going down to the casino. We were there every single day from the point that it opened, which was once we hit our first sea day because we were out of Hawaiian waters.
One other big difference between the two ships is the adult-only Solarium, which is the kind of undercover part at the front of the ships. Now, even though the Wonder has been touted as the biggest solarium at sea and all that stuff, it was really basic.
It was crap.
The atmosphere was just dead in there. I think perhaps maybe, I don't know whether it was a ceiling height that everything was echoing, or the fact there wasn't enough furniture in there. There was big open spaces and there was a lot of people looking for seats. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a tiny pool that was already kind of lacking maintenance, even though the ship was only 6 months old when we were on her. I don't know what it was. Back on the Ovation, oh wow, their Solarium just knocks the Wonder Solarium out of the park, doesn't it?
This was our second time on Ovation of the Seas, and I remember walking into the Solarium on the first day and just going, I'm home. It honestly felt like I knew this was the benchmark of all solariums from our experience so far. I am interested to see what they do with Odyssey, but I think that the Solarium on the Ovation of the Sea was absolutely fantastic. The one on Wonder was terrible.
What did we think of the entertainment venues on the ship?
So unlike an Oasis class ship where you've got loads of different venues and a stand-up comedy room and all of these other bits and pieces going on, you don't get that option on a Quantum class ship. They really only have two main venues, and that is it's 270, which is 270 degree views.
The best venue on any ship.
On any ship, it's true. And of course they have the Royal Theatre at the other side of the ship, at the other end of the ship, should I say. Now, the entertainment was good, was really, really good. I liked it. Some of it was a little bit hit and miss, but I like the magician. Little tip, Royal Caribbean, if you have a magician, why don't you have a camera focusing on that and put that on the screen? Because I was stood in the stalls because we had the keys.
Were you standing?
Stood. I wasn't stood. I was sat in the stalls, and I couldn't see what was going on. He brought out this thing with these razor blades or something. It was meant to do something daring, and we just sat there, looked at each other, and just like.
He started swallowing razor blades, but the only reason we knew they were razor blades was because on the video screens either side of the stage, they actually showed some visuals of razor blades, not him doing it, just razor blades, because we couldn't honestly see. We saw him putting something in his mouth. We couldn't tell what it was. It was that far away. So honestly, what a waste. I think. I don't know if you had a 40-minute act. I think we left after about 5 minutes.
5 or 6 minutes. It started and I was just like, no, let's give it a go. And I was like, no.
I think I turned to you and said, what is he actually doing? And you went, I've no idea. So we just got up and left at that stage.
Went to the casino and lost some more money. But that was more fun than trying to work out what he was doing on stage.
But there's no aqua theatre on this class of ship and no ice rink. So again, if those are important to you, Quantum class ship probably isn't the right ship for you. But Cafe 270, is it called Cafe 270?
Well, the cafe, it's got a cafe attached to it, which is 270, but 270 is a multi-purpose venue. It has video screens, it has some of the most advanced projection systems. They're very, very good at sort of saying, oh, it's worth X number of $1 million and all of this, that and the other, which means nothing unless they use it appropriately, which they do.
One of the shows we saw there was called Spectre's Cabaret, I don't know if that's on every Quantum class ship or just this one. I don't honestly know. Oh, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The selection of music, the choreography, the dancers were amazing, the singers were great. And they have these motorized video projection screens which kind of track around the image, and it really is a fantastic venue. I really loved that.
And up there you'll find like the workshop and the library as well, which the library is not
odd.
It's not a quiet space, but the selection of books is brilliant. There is loads to choose from, but I do think that they've got it all sort of open, so if there's anything going on in the in 270, which there is most of the time, you're not going to be able to read quietly, put it that way. That is one thing I'm going to say I don't really like about Quantum class ships, is there isn't really a quiet space outside of your cabin. So I wanted to, vintages, I guess you could maybe say that was a quiet space, but it's a bar. But I think that for me, sometimes I like to have a quiet space where I can just sit and read or whatever, or do some work, and outside of the cabin, and that just doesn't really exist.
Well, you just mentioned vintages. So what was our take on the bars?
Okay, so look at the bars. We've got Vintage, Schooner Bar, the British Bar, or other, I can't remember the name.
That was awful. I
thought it was okay. I had a really good, it wasn't a Long Island iced tea. It was like a Orleans iced tea. I don't know what it was called, but it was a really good drink.
The atmosphere in that place is weird. like really odd. It's all painted like black or something.
Yeah,
on
like
the
an
inside.
old British pub.
No, when is that like a British pub?
North London British pubs, I don't know.
Okay, he's no clue. Trust me.
He spent way too much time in wine bars.
There is nothing authentic about that venue. It's just dark and dingy. And there's an awful lot of noise because it's positioned on the main, I don't know, is that the promenade they call it? Or Esplanade. So there's a lot of people coming and going and a lot of noise, but no atmosphere. I think that's the worst bar venue. However, my favourite venue...
Yours is Schooner Bar, isn't it?
I like Schooner Bar. And again, the Schooner Bar, the location on the Ovation is way better than on the Wonder. I don't even... Where is it on the Wonder? I can't remember.
I can't...
But I remember going and saying, this is in a really bad position. So check out the Wonder video. It's probably in there. But I really like the location of that one. And also...
I think...
Was it Valero's?
No, I'm going to tell you now, with Schooner Bar, they couldn't find the board... I missed the board games.
Oh yeah, no board games.
No board games, but they were...
That was a shame.
We found a load in the library, but yeah, they should... they used to have board games in the Schooner Bar, and it used to be nice to sit there with a cocktail and play checkers, I think they call it.
But Vintages was really nice. That's kind of a wine bar. Valero's was nice.
Vintages was my kind of... That's where I could relax the most, I think, out of all the bars. Bolero's is like their Latin bar, which has the most incredible rum cocktail menu alive. But and it's got Latin jazz and blues, and they played some reggae one night. Very, very cool place to be. And they have a Bolero's as well on the Wonder of the Seas. The one on Wonder is obviously much bigger, but I like the almost intimate setting of Bolero's on Ovation. I thought it was nice. But for me, my favourite place was probably Vintages, I would say. Vintages, which is their like wine bar. Now, we didn't get a drinks package on this sailing.
Yeah, we did. We had a refreshment package.
We didn't get
that is a drinks package.
It doesn't really count. We didn't get the deluxe drinks package. Don't worry, I'm still not happy about that. But anyway, we did not get a drinks package. But when I was looking at the wine menu in Vintages, now I would love it if anyone has had a drinks package and drunk the wine in Vintages. If you can let us know in the comments below. Because...
Oh, out of those machines?
No, not other machines, because the pricing of some of the glasses of wine was upwards of like $15, $18, $25. Would that be included in your drinks package if you bought wine by the glass? And if not, were you paying the difference? I really would like to know that, because I would definitely get a drinks package in the future if I needed to, if I wanted to. And but Vintages, I like white wine, I like good wine. And I think that that is a place where you could probably find value in your drinks package. Anyway, Vintages is my favourite bar on that place.
Right, can we get on now, please?
Yes, go on. Let's talk about the North Star. Now, I did the North Star as part of the key, and you can check out a few clips here. Here are some other clips, I guess. There we go. I loved it. I was so terrified when I was going on it. Yeah, because I hadn't gone on it when we filmed the stuff about the key.
Oh no,
I was about to go on it, and then we filmed, and I didn't get to do iFly in the end because I was asleep. Lovely afternoon nap and completely missed my time. But on the North Star, I loved it. It was terrifying at first, just seeing how high it goes, but the views were magnificent. And it was a very clear day. It was majestic, I would say. You bottled it. You weren't going to go on it.
Bottle it. I had no intention of ever going on it. So how is that?
I had every intention of trying to convince you.
The woman who was organising it actually said to me, "Come on, Glenn, I hear you're scared of heights. It's fine." And I said, "No, that thing is wobbling around." And she went, "No, there's no movement at all." Even he said when he came down, "Okay, it was moving." So
yeah,
there's no way that a ball holding 20 people stuck on a stick, 300 feet in the air when you've got a bit of a gust of wind isn't going to move.
No.
Come on.
No.
So I'm quite happy I never got that.
Honestly, I have a little bit of a fear of heights, and it didn't bother me once I was in there.
You're not afraid of heights?
I am afraid. Not like you. You can't go on a step ladder, but I am. I do get queasy.
This is something else for the sympathy vote here. He's not scared of heights at all.
Not a sympathy vote. My gosh. So let's talk about FlowRider, which I've never done FlowRider on all the cruises I've been to.
And he still hasn't.
And I still haven't done it. I am determined to do it on Odyssey, so you need to be subscribed.
Oh,
I'm going to do FlowRider on Odyssey, and you're going to film it.
You just committed that to camera.
I have committed it. I'm going to do FlowRider Odyssey, but. A little bit of a warning for those of you who are also thinking about doing FlowRider. I was talking to one of the fellow guests. Shout out to Jamie and Missy if you're watching this. Now Jamie did the FlowRider. Now what happened was he was going to be charged. I think it was quite a hefty fee, about $69. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can't stand up on the board unless you've had a lesson, which you have to pay for, but you can go on the FlowRider for free without a lesson, but you're not allowed to stand up, which is a little bit, I don't know, I feel like just laying on the board as the water rushes over you is not really the same thing as trying to surf. But those are things I think you need to keep in mind on the FlowRider. I will be doing it in September when we go on Odyssey of the Sea, so keep a lookout for that. I'm committing to that now. Very quickly about shopping. Shops are all the same. We barely use them. Just I will tell you now that duty-free bottles of bourbon are no cheaper than Tesco on a cruise ship these days. I don't know
Other
why.
Supermarkets are available.
They are. So yeah, but I do also have another story from someone who told me that they have power of negotiation in the jewelry stores. Someone had over nearly $1,000 offered to knock the price off a necklace.
Well, how much was the necklace?
$2,600.
What? They knocked it all by a half?
They were going to knock it down by $1,000.
Wait, where did you get this from?
Do you know that woman? She was sat, I can't remember her name now.
Was this the same woman I had a go at for holding off all of those sun lounges?
We'll talk about the sun lounges in a bit.
No, we're not. But it's not her.
No, it wasn't her. It was, no, of course not. Lastly, she wouldn't speak to me after you told her off. No, I can't remember her name, but she got nearly $1,000 knocked off. But she was lovely. Her husband was called John. I remember that. Okay, anyway, so just let you know, they have power of negotiation in those shops, so don't take the face.
So in summary,
no, I want to talk about the seating.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Basically, Royal Caribbean have started putting this thing on deck chairs to say you cannot hold a deck chair for more than 30 minutes, i.e. it's to stop people from putting their towels down and then just buggering off for the rest of the day. It winds me up something chronic when I can't. When we were on Wonder of the Seas, we were on the suite deck. We've done a very complex, very detailed video about the suite neighborhood. Please check it out. It'll tell you everything you need to know if you're thinking about going into a suite. But I honestly felt that some of the people in there took the mick because there were a couple of people, they would put their towels down at 7:30 in the morning and then they would disappear for one, and they would come back about 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a group of 4 women who did that every day.
And they were the only 2 big ones. So me and Glenn, we're big guys. We like to lie on one of those shared round bed things together, and there were the only 2 that would fit us, and they took them every single day. But they weren't there. And I'm British. I'm not going to sit there and make a scene, unlike Glenn who did on Ovation. I'm not going to sit there and make a scene about it. But I tell you what, I feel like I should have, because it's cheeky and it's unacceptable. Because if you're not going to use it, let someone else use it. And this is exactly what happened in the Solarium. On the sea days, the Solarium does get very, very busy. Get there early. We make YouTube content, so I was filming at 6:30 in the morning to go down there before anyone else was there to try and get as few people in the film as possible, because it's a bit rude sometimes. And so we were there early, and we were just sat there. We didn't leave the seat. We were doing it properly. This woman come along. She put a book on one sofa bed, like for 2, and then a book on another one, and she held it for hours. And then as the Solarium was filling
She
up,
was there most of the time.
but the other one was just sat empty the entire
no.
time. And then people were coming by and going, oh no, there's a book on that. Oh no, there's a book on that. And at one point you said, I'm sorry, the person that's being held for hasn't turned up, and it's been a couple of hours. And she basically like chimed in and was like, that's for my daughter who never turned up. And it's like, you can't hold something for half a day. It's ruining other people's holidays. Because if they want to go and sit in the Solarium, which is over 16s only, by the way, and they want to have some quiet time, then they should be allowed to do that. But you holding a sun lounger when it's clearly very busy, when no one is going to use it, I'm sorry, it is out of order. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's what I feel about that.
And if you're watching, we hope you've learned a lesson.
Yeah, I hope you've learned your lesson. But yeah, anyway. But overall, apart from that moment, I just think that the Ovation of the Seas for me is one of my favourite ships. Quantum class, I love you. I can't wait to go on Odyssey. We also have Anthem, so apart from Spectrum and Quantum, we would have done all the ships in the fleet.
Like 3 Quantum class in a row, so we'll be Quantum experts.
Yeah, come to us for your Quantum advice. But yeah, honestly, it has been a wonderful time. It was a great way to spend our honeymoon. Little fact, we got engaged on the Quantum of the Seas, and then we got to go back to her for our honeymoon.
No, it was on Ovation of the Seas, actually.
Quantum, that's right. Ovation of the Seas. We got engaged on her, and we got to go back on her for our honeymoon. So it's a very special ship to us.
And very special memories. He can't even remember the ship name.
Anyway, before I forget, let's just say thank you very much to everyone for watching. Obviously, we're in this really lovely hotel room here. If you want to see how we get on in Vancouver, make sure to subscribe because we've got loads of Vancouver content coming up, including the review of this hotel, which I'm going to tell you now is one of the best I've ever been to.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and all the YouTube stuff. Bye. 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 Waves, Glenn. There we go. Bye.